This is ahead of the herd under the spotlight, copper in 26. Along with all the usual applications for copper, construction, transportation, and telecommunications, demand is being driven by ongoing electrification and decarbonization of the transportation system and the exponential growth in battery storage. But copper is not only vital to its usual applications in electrification decarbonization, but to artificial intelligence and the infrastructure that supports AI. Copper is used in computer chips, EVs, and in the reams of wiring required by data centers, and of course in new power transmission to all the new data centers and a required massive upgrade to the existing transmission grid. Due to unexpected closures and operational interruptions, such as the mud intrusion that shut down the world's second-largest copper mine, Grasberg in Indonesia, the copper market in 2025 experienced a deficit. The shortfall is expected to deepen in 2026. Global copper output growth is expected to be 1.3% in 2026, compared with a 25-year average of over 2.5%. Of the 239 copper deposits discovered between 1990 and 2023, only 14 took place in the final decade of that period, the IEA says. Miners' exploration budgets sank below 3% of copper EBITDA in 2024, compared to over 6% in the early part of the 2010s. Aggregate capex is the lowest it's ever been and is not climbing. Copper started 2025 at US $3.97 a pound. It ended the year at US $5.64. Copper achieved its biggest annual price increase in 2025 since the recovery that followed the 2008 financial crisis, as traders react to fears of global shortages. One reason for copper's stellar performance, apart from shortage jitters stemming from the aforementioned high-profile temporary mine closures, increased demand for the red metal, and the fact mined yearly supply no longer is able to meet demand without recycling, is U.S. tariff uncertainty. Copper earlier this year flowed to the United States as shippers sought to avoid a threatened tariff on the metal. Though the 50% tariff on semi-finished copper products was later suspended, the hoarding effect has limited supplies in other parts of the world and helped drive global prices higher. Armstrong Economics argues that the real driver of copper prices is fear. When people begin hoarding raw materials, it means they no longer trust supply chains, governments, or currencies. Trade wars, sanctions, and geopolitical uncertainty force companies to hold excess inventory to hedge against supply chain constraints. Capital always moves to where it feels safest. When confidence in government collapses, money does not stay in bonds or paper promises. It moves into real assets such as copper. This safe haven status signifies a world marked by greater scarcity and investors' desire to get their hands on things with relatively limited supply. There has been a dearth of new copper discoveries in recent years, and the grades of existing copper mines are dropping, which, when added to operational misses, are making the supply problem worse. The call for potential doubling of the global demand for copper is expected to result in large shortfalls, something we at AOTH have been warning about for years. The copper market is expected to face its most severe deficit, 590,000 tons in 22 years in 2026, according to Morgan Stanley. According to Mining Visual's Q3 2025 proved challenging for the global copper industry. Strong demand from electrification and infrastructure met sharp supply-side disruptions. Output from the top 20 miners hit 3.46 million tons, down 4% quarter-over-quarter. The copper supply deficit could widen by 2029 to a whopping 1.1 million tons, with demand surging for 60 different critical minerals, and mines depleting, and non-existent. The competition from these metals to get funded for further exploration, development, and mining is going to butt up against the existing deficit in copper, as more resources are also put towards their supply. Thank you for watching Under the Spotlight, Copper in 26. Video sponsored by Kodiak Copper.